Well, hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Influencer A-List. In our endeavor to get you some of India's leading social media influencers, we have put together an episode dedicated to the EdTech genre. We feature Ashutosh Singh, popularly known as Technical Sapien. He's talking about everything from Bitcoin to tech and money and building India's most productive tech community on the internet. The second influencer with us today will be Priyansh Agarwal, who is taking the concept of competitive programming to the masses. Listen in to this enthralling conversation.
With over 150,000 followers on Instagram.
Our main target or our main focus of our community is for students and make them learn and earn at the same time.
He's building India's most productive tech community.
We make them assured that after following our roadmap and after 4 to 5 months, they can easily monetize those skills, and after complete 6 months, they can say, yes, I'm financially independent.
NewsX Influencer A-List proudly recognizes Ashutosh Singh for influence in EdTech content creation.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Influencer A-List. I'm Aarti Krishnan. I have with me Ashutosh Singh, who is also known as Technical Sapien fondly on the internet. Now, he has created a technological community who in fact work on the learn and earn basis. Now, let's hear from him on what exactly he's created and the basis of this community. Thank you for joining us today, Ashutosh. Tell us a little about this community that you've created online.
First of all, thank you, Aarti, for giving this kind of opportunity to represent our community on your platform. So basically, Technical Sapien has been created in January 2018, and it has been created with a vision to help students, or basically college students, to make them learn and earn at the same time. Because nowadays we face a lot of problems, and we do not have an education for financial literacy. So we are helping them out to learn new skills and to monetize those skills, whether it's be from freelancing, whether it's be creating their own community. So our main target or our main focus of our community is for students and make them learn and earn at the same time.
Right, Ashutosh, so what exactly are the skills that you help them with? Does it involve coding and, ethical hacking and, several robotics as well? There are so many opportunities that are out there for freelancers, for children, for college goers as well. So what kind of skills do you then focus on?
Yeah. So basically, we host a free 6-month challenge. It's called the 6M challenge. So it's a free and 6-month challenge in which we focus on blogging, digital marketing, bug bounty hunting, like if you're interested in cybersecurity, and plus influencer building, like if someone want to build their own community and want to be an influencer. So there are 6 to 7 streams that we are focusing on, and we help them on weekly basis. We give them an article that's completely free, so they learn from it. It's kind of a roadmap. They learn from a roadmap how to start and how to approach to the clients and how to turn their skills, like how to monetize, how to advertise. So it's kind of a roadmap that we are giving them for 6 months, and we make them assured that after following our roadmap and after 4 to 5 months, they can easily monetize those skills, and after complete 6 months, they can say, yes, I'm financially independent.
Right, Ashutosh. So tell us a little about the people who have already joined your community. Tell us about their journey and how they have improved in their technical skills and how they've utilized your platform, in fact, to then better themselves.
Okay, so like our communities, most of the time it has been focused on technologies aspects. So like people have been learning programming and data science, and they have been into competitive coding also. So we are helping them in providing resources, and most of the time these resources are almost free. Like it's been public or either from some GitHub repository. So we are helping them with the free resources to enhance their skills. And we have also launched, you can say, a membership kind of thing, which is called Wild Guns. So with the help of that, we help them to, improve their skills, to monetize them, how to approach to the professionals. So in this way, we are helping them out.
Right, Ashutosh, so according to you, today on the online platform, do you think this conversation is being had enough? The conversation around building a community around tech, coders talking about how to do it, because it still, seems like rocket science for most people, all of these skills, and what you're doing helps people start to innovate and start to, tap into that part of their skill. But then do you think this conversation is not being had on the digital sphere enough?
Yeah, like for this, I think like we just have entered into the Web 3.0, where new technologies, and it's like programming is kind of a very common thing for the people, and it's like it's a skill that you must learn, and you must understand the logics. It's kind of a that thing. We have been entering into the Web 3.0, where it's kind of a decentralization of nearly every technology is on the blockchain. So I think it's the thing that we everyone need to understand, because it's kind of an evolvement that our generation is going to have. Millennials have some different kind of technology, but now this Gen Z has a different kind of technology. So it's better to learn and these kind of technology as soon as possible. It's because if we do not take part in this evolvement of technology, then we may lag behind. And I think India is on that pace where a lot of opportunities are waiting for especially young people, especially the students of college. So I think programming, competitive coding, and all these kind of things are those things which should be common among these youngsters.
Right, Ashutosh, picking up on that point, tell us a little more about how you help people who, from college, who are trying to get into coding or programming, and tell us a little more about, the prerequisites that are needed. Can anybody then start coding? People like me, people who are watching this interview, can they then, participate in the challenges that you put out, and then, how do they then go about learning it?
Yeah. So what we have did for this kind of thing, like if someone really wants to start into the programming world, so what we have done, we have made a particular guide for them. So it's kind of very complex for a new student, like how to start, which language to choose, because there are so many different languages, and which language has a scope, which has more earning in the future. So there are different kind of questions for the people. So we have made a particular guide on our basically Instagram. It's public, it's free, it's nothing. We are charging nothing. So it's like this is the programming language, and this is its pros and cons. It's their scope. So that they can choose the programming language. So at the first point, we are helping them to choose their programming language, and then the second phase is that how they can learn this language from the very basics, how they can learn data structures and algorithms, and then how they can implement those languages into like building small projects. And after that, like when they are in colleges, and they need placements. So how to approach companies, whether it's be HackerRank kind of platform where they can practice their programming skills, and where they can build projects, where they can submit their programming, you can say a new programming project. So these all kind of things from zero to, you can say, the expert level or intermediate level, we are helping them out to get into the programming world.
Right. So Ashutosh, now my final question to you will be, you're also on a platform called Memboro, right? Which you then use to get subscriptions. People can subscribe to you. So what are the other advantages that people get? So like you stated on Instagram, you are providing some material, you're providing guides for people to get into programming. But on Memboro, you're also providing some extra advantages and more gains that people can get when they subscribe to you. So could you just take us through what those are?
Yeah, so I think I have also discussed about wild guns before. So we have launched wild guns on Memboro, and I think Memboro is one of the best platform we have seen till yet. It's an Indian platform, and it helped us a lot in providing content. I mean, it's kind of they have removed the barrier of a content creator. Like we have a freedom to express, or we have a freedom to give what kind of content we want to deliver. And like people have learned a lot. Like I think nearly 20 to 30 people become financially independent from the platform Memboro, where we have launched our wild guns. And Memboro became you can say a lifesaver, or you can say it's kind of an idea enhancement platform for us, where we just projected our idea and it became successful. And it's not only successful for me, it became a success for many other different people also, where people have joined wild guns through Memboro. So Memboro kind of a very great platform for content creators.
Right, Ashutosh, thank you for joining us today and providing your insight on your journey and telling us what exactly you do and how programming should be taken forward. All the best and kudos to you.
Thank you.
A college student, coder, and influencer.
All I'm doing is I'm just making people, more and more people, aware of that a certain thing like competitive programming exists, and by doing it, you can write more efficiently.
He's taking competitive programming to the masses.
Right now, my channel does not have a lot of content that is particular for beginners. So yeah, I think I would take that as a suggestion. I would be putting out more content.
NewsX influencer A-list proudly recognizes Priyansh Agarwal for influence in competitive programming. Hello and welcome. You're joining us on NewsX Influencer A-List. I'm Parati Binod, and with us today is a very special guest. Now, a lot of us don't know what coding is. You need to be an engineer, you need to be a professional, you need to be somebody who has in-depth knowledge about it. But while Priyansh Agarwal is here with us, he has a YouTube channel that has 18.3 thousand followers, and he's out here to teach people like you and I how to code, more specifically competitive programming. Firstly, Priyansh, thank you so much for being with us on NewsX Influencer A-List, and a very warm welcome to NewsX.
Thank you so much, Paridi, for having me. It is a pleasure talking here.
Same here. Priyansh, why don't you start by telling us what competitive programming is and what is the kind of content that you're creating on YouTube for your audiences?
Sure. So competitive programming is like a small domain in programming itself. There are quite a lot of domains in programming, and competitive programming is one of them. So competitive programming is like a mind sport, and all you have to do is solve certain problems in it and solve them efficiently. Like, for example, if I tell you to perform a task A and you have a computer in front of you, you can code it up. You can write code for it and you can complete this task A. Now, there can be n number of ways to solve this, right? But you have to come up with the most efficient way. And I'll tell you how efficiently is defined here. Efficiency is defined in terms of time and space. Like if I write a code, if I write a program, and that particular task is getting solved in around 1.2 seconds, and let's say somebody else comes up and solves that particular task in 0.9 seconds. So he's more efficient than me. So competitive programming is all about trying to write efficient code.
Okay.
And to optimize
And what you're doing on the internet is that you're trying to help people learn how to write this efficient code that takes really less time, less input, but maximizes the output, sort of. Is that what you're trying to do on the internet?
I mean, I'm not trying to exactly tell how all of this works. It is already present. So all that people have to do is just apply their mind and write efficient code. So all I'm doing is I'm just making people, more and more people, aware of that a certain thing like competitive programming exists, and by doing it, you can write more efficient code.
Okay, so Priyansh, if I were to go on your YouTube channel for somebody who does not have an engineering background, does not have a coding background, is a pure journalist, if somebody like me were to go on your channel, would I be able to, at least understand the basics of coding, or would I have to have a certain skill set to be able to, catch on to your and, get on your bandwagon?
That's a good question. At this point, I would not say that if you come up to my channel and if you don't have any programming experience, you will get the basics. I feel that I think I can put out more content that is specific to beginners. Right now, my channel does not have a lot of content that is particular for beginners. So yeah, I think I would take that as a suggestion. I would be putting out more content.
Great. We will stay tuned to your channel to be able to learn how to code from you. All right. But so for your target audience, let's come to the people that you are talking to. How easy or difficult has it been for you to gain their trust, to prove that you have credibility? Because on the internet, there are a lot of people that, claim to be certain experts in a particular field. It's not always true. Has it been difficult, or how difficult or rather easy has it been for you to gain that trust? And how do you gain that trust, Priyansh?
That's a very good point. I feel that if you look at this whole domain of content creation, there are people who are credible enough, and then there are people who are just very good at speaking, or they're very good at convincing you. So let's say there is a person who does not even have knowledge about competitive programming, and starts making up content just because of the fact that they're speaking really nicely, they have a lot of confidence, people will trust them. And that is somewhere where people do get misguided. And I feel that, if you talk about my channel particularly, I regularly post coding streams, like I'm coding live. I am attempting a competitive programming contests, which are like, contests at international levels. And I'm coding them and I'm, posting their recordings. So the thing is that if you look at me coding, I cannot fake this part, right? I can always fake the part where I'm sort of giving you advice. I can be very confident about it. I can speak in a very good way. But when it comes to actual coding, I cannot fake it, right? So that is where I feel that if you are, following somebody, if you're following certain influencers, you should always have in mind, what are they actually doing? Like, are they actually proving their worth, or you're just following them just because of the fact that they're speaking very nicely?
So for you, what's worked is the fact that, you code in real time, you code in front of your audience, and you show them that, you have a certain credibility that you come with, a certain expertise, domain expertise. So Priyansh, what I want to know is then, why be a social media influencer? A little bit about your journey, where it started from, because you're in third year college. How do you make the time to put out videos all the time? You're also an engineering student. I'm assuming that's not easy. So how are you toggling between all of these things? A little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'll tell you exactly how I started this whole YouTube channel. Like, if you talk about engineering, I just started doing this engineering thing just because of the fact that I wanted a very good job. And I feel that most of the people do engineering just because of this. So if you talk about my YouTube channel particularly, so I really got into competitive programming in the second year of my college. And that is when I felt that, if you look at our nation, India, we have a lot of competitive programmers, a lot. Like, none other country has more competitive programmers than India. And still, if you look at the top 100 competitive programmers, or even the top 150 competitive programmers in the entire world, you won't find a single Indian in that. And I'll tell you what is the main reason for that. The reason is that not a lot of people are aware of it. So if you look at countries like Russia, USA, there are people who are doing competitive programming from like class 6th, class 8th. And then if you look at people from India, most of them start competitive programming when they start engineering. Right. So that was my main motive. I wanted more and more people to get aware about this thing called competitive programming. And also the thing is that I felt that when I actually started my YouTube channel, there were not a lot of YouTube channels around competitive programming. So like, there was very limited content. Now there is a lot of content because like more and more people are getting to know about competitive programming. So yeah, that was about how I started my YouTube channel. And if you talk about managing this whole thing, it is really very difficult. Honestly, it is very, very difficult. There are times when I have to skip my college classes. There are times when I have to skip submitting my college assignments. And I mean, it is all about prioritizing stuff, right? If you feel that right now YouTube is more important to you, you will be putting more time into YouTube. And if you feel that sort of making a good percentage in college, making a good CGPA is more important to you right now, you will be putting in time at that place, right?
That's fair. All right. So Priyansh, before we let you go, and because we've run out of time, I want to talk a little bit about revenue generation. Now, of course, prioritizing is important. You go to college that eventually, like you said, land up a good job, a secure future, etc., so and so. But you're already a YouTuber, so you're already generating revenue. But from what I understand, you're also associated with this startup called Memboro. Memboro is helping content creators generate revenue on the site, right? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey on Memboro, how you came across Memboro, and how it has helped you personally?
Sure. So if you talk about Memboro, all of the co-founders at Memboro are from my college, IIIT Delhi. And that is how I actually got introduced to Memboro. So all of these people like are really close friends of mine, and they used to regularly watch my YouTube channel. And Anshul, one of the co-founders at Memboro, he came up to me and told me that, all of this that you're doing right now is free, right? Maybe you can build up a paid model on that. And I was like, sure, let's try it out. And that is how Memboro actually came into picture. I got my own competitive programming course, right? And I mean, that is how actually Memboro came into this whole thing here. And I'll tell you how exactly Memboro helps me. So if you look at what I'm doing right now, I am just creating content, and I don't really have to think about smaller things like how will I manage all the payment things, how will people come and buy my course? How will I ensure that people who have taken the course are actually getting the content or not? And how will I ensure that people who haven't purchased the course are not getting any access to it? So all of this is actually managed really very well by Memboro, and that is where I feel that content creators can save up some time and actually focus on their main content.
Okay, so Memboro is helping you generate revenue because now on Memboro you have a coding course which people can go on Memboro, subscribe to, and they will get exclusive videos of yours teaching them how to code in depth that they would otherwise not get on YouTube. Right? That's right.
Right. Not only my own videos. There are other people who are involved. So there are other tutors, there are other teaching assistants, and they're also helping me in that.
Wow. So it's not just you, it's also professionals and teachers that are helping you out. So guys, if you're watching this, go on, subscribe to Priyansh, buy a membership, and help creators grow. Thank you so much, Priyansh, for joining us on NewsX Influencer A-List. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. More power to you and more power to the work that you do.
Thank you, Paridhi. It was really great talking to you. Thank you so much.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.